All right, Jose, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation, Kevin.
Absolutely. We were just chatting prior to starting about the fact that this is the topic very near and dear to me, and I think we share kind of maybe some similar passion for this space. So this should be very entertaining conversation today.
Okay, I try.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's kind of get into real quick kind of your origin story and where you're from, because I think that's really awesome and let's kind of figure out like how you got to the place that you are today.
Yeah, my name is Jose. I am CEO from Password Consultant Services. We provide services in cybersecurity. We help the companies, agency, or all people with problems with hackers, malware, different threats from the digital world. I was born in Colombia, in South America. I started my company 20 years ago, so when I was in a college. So yes, we start when in my society different problems. So I want to help my society against this problem, the cyber risks. So I start my company for to help my society, so help the companies, government agency. Yes, yeah, and I try to make this.
Yeah. So what was so you're starting this while you're kind of your formal education years. What was the motivation behind starting and kind of getting into this space as a business?
So mm, when I was a student, mm, uh, I I found that the problem with cybersecurity is growing. Different banks in my city and my country and different agency fall with these problems. So I said I I I need to help these people. I need to help these companies. But that is possible. I can. So when um but the more motivation was my second project with my company. Um, this but I helped to the company energy company. This company has a lot of problems with a terrorist group in my country. This terrorist group uh, want to attack this energy company. Um, I help. I help to protect this energy company against this terrorist attack in this situation. Very difficult.
Hmm. So what's great and kind of reading up on you and your background is that over the last 20 years you've been in many different industries, right? Whether it's energy, oil and gas, government, all over the place. Uh, is there anything that surprises you, 20 years later about kind of the general threat landscape and maybe even people's password hygiene. Is there anything that has surprised you now doing this for 20 years about where we are as an industry in kind of dealing with these challenges?
So I think the problem is the same. In general, the problem is the same. Uh, the dark side is growing with innovation, and the white side, like the government, is slow, you know. But I think the problem is the same. So this is a motivation to me to make to growing in my capacity or the make a knowledge to protect the society. So yeah, for example, in this moment, um, we are working uh, quantum computing, quantum computing in focus in cybersecurity to protect the companies or to protect the society, which is a special or big technology uh, to come. Yes, we in this moment we have the special solution based in quantum computing and cryptography.
Yeah, that's one of the topics for me that I think is most intriguing or fascinating. If you're, go back maybe 7, 8 years ago, you would start to see these images pop up about how long it would take to crack a password, right? So you'd say, all right, the password was 5 characters, and I don't know if they were using supercomputers at that point or whatever, but it would take, I don't know, an hour to crack the password. And then you got the 6 characters, and it might be 2 days, and 7 characters. And then ultimately you get to like 12 characters, and it would take, 2000 years. But, with quantum computing, and the explosion of, you know, you know, how quantum computing is able from a force multiplier standpoint to get into, password cracking. Does that concern you, or do you see that being a major, you know area of exploit moving forward?
So we have the special study about the when you have the password with that is in a classical computer like to Earth is A or you know it's possible that exploit with a quantum computing in 1 week your password.
Mm.
So it's a big problem. For example, China has a quantum computing services. I don't know what which guy used these services in quantum computer. So this is the problem. This is the problem come. So this is the motivation to help or make a special solution to protect your password of different uh, database in our customers on the society. With quantum computer because the protection is not necessarily mathematical. It's quantum protection.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's to me that's going to be, between quantum and AI, and not automation, but really AI. That's the exploits, I think, are going to just get extremely sophisticated, uh, really, really fast. I mean, we're starting to see it now, but fast forward 2, 3, 4 years when availability of or access to quantum computing, starts to really rise. And if that gets in the hands of nefarious, whether it's governments or just individuals, that's gonna wreak a lot of havoc on those that don't understand what they need to do to really protect themselves moving forward. So when you know, and actually, I'd love to, maybe I'll kind of circle back with some of these questions about, you're in a space that you always have to be on your toes, and you're always dealing with difficult things. And so I'll get back to asking some of these questions about how you manage the stress and kind of, organize your life, because I know, having been in your shoes, I know it can be pretty stressful, because you're always talking to the clients that have, it's always emergency rush, there's issues, what have you. But so tell me how you typically work with an organization. Like, when are you normally engaging with a customer of yours?
So we have the two types of the customers. One customer is proactive in cybersecurity. We with this customer we make the consulting. What is the best framework or compliance for this organization, and after this consulting we help with a SOC, Security Operations Center, and incident response. Uh, to engage, then to connect with customer and work proactive to the in the of the cybersecurity. But other other customers is reactive. Oh my goodness, I hack. Yes, my database is stolen. I have. This is a other customer that need to react immediately. Because the ransomware attack. We need to help about this with this problem. It's in my life. It's in my life. So management these projects reactive and proactive. And proactive consulting with compliance, security operation centers. Make a strategy, and reactive when the problem is here. Malware malware act stole the database. So I need to help this company with a different, process to recover the information of the services.
So you wish everybody was proactive, with this and getting out in front. What percentage? I mean, I don't know if it's giving away too much, but what percentage of the calls that you take on a daily basis are, hey, we're trying to really put a strategy in place and get our house in order versus, oh no, something just happened.
It's difficult to define this a number, but for example, I was a customer in gambling. We about $200 million in loss in the gambling system, to protect. So, for example, uh, I has a customers in the Caribbean, aqueduct, Yes,
Yeah.
we protect this aqueduct to the with again about the malware. This malware try to change the no change the chemicals in the water, and then if this malware change the chemical, the water maybe poison change to poison.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what is the, I don't know what is the way to define that number. But
Yeah.
you imagine the water in aqueduct with a poison poison. So in the city has 3 million people. 3 million people. Yes. So you know. So yes. But what do you think? What is the number to what is the number in dollars to about this loss?
You can't even quantify that. Yeah. It's
Mm,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. The loss of life. And then, yeah, it's, wow. That just, maybe that just goes to show the level of sophistication or targeting that, that we see now, right? I mean,
Mm.
even a handful of years ago, it was all right. They created or discovered some type of exploit, and it was send it out to everybody, right? And it was a big numbers game. But that's evolved quite a bit, right, over the last you know probably half dozen years, 6 7 years, where they're now very very targeted, um, very very targeted attacks. And I wonder, you know, maybe with some of the cases that you guys have worked. I mean, yeah, how much of that targeting is generated by looking at social profiles, for example, like LinkedIn, and building profiles on individuals at specific organizations. Are you seeing an uptick or a rise in those types of very very targeted attacks?
The target is with a different what do you say? What do you say? Verticals or different what do you say? This a different option in the space, but this is possible to LinkedIn. But yes, it's a different. So I don't know mention, but this is a good question. I think about this because it's a little different, but I need to make I think need to define this information.
It's again, we're going back through some of our show prep notes, and
Hmm.
one of the questions is around motivation, and I love the kind of the entrepreneur. Some of the answers that you had were very entrepreneurial. So it's my family, community, friends, but then you had one in here about failing to launch an antivirus for smartphones as a motivation, or was that was that a missed opportunity at some point? Is that does that drive you to always be on your toes now?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yes. Again, other question to you. Okay, but yes, is it for example, 10 years ago, I tried to make a special anti-malware for Android,
Mm.
but the problem is in this moment, the artificial intelligence, uh, in this moment, and 10 years ago, the hackers and a lot of communities use this artificial intelligence. So I need a more in in this situation. I need more resource to counterattack this special malware to Android. Fortunately, Android and iPhone make different strategies to protect your cell phone and different device. But yes, it's a difficult to in the smartphone. It's a good way to for a attacks.
Got it. So I think you probably just given the nature of what you do, you deal a lot with whether it's compliance or certification. Think about the cybersecurity maturity model, right? Um,
Exactly.
that yeah. So that obviously is it important, right? For not just critical infrastructure, and it's not just important for companies that are regulated, or whether they're in energy or legal or finance, what have you. But how do you guys go about working with companies and helping them with that certification process? Because it sounds like that's kind of a big part of what you guys do.
Yes, you know it's a hard process, but it depends when do you start this process. If you are proactive, it's possible to you with a good plan. It's possible you win this compliance, win this compliance um, with a good plan. You start with a good trainings, for example, if you want to uh, you have the HIPAA or ISO 27001 or GDPR or SOC or just some different compliance in around the world. um, Depend on your training and depend on your scope. When you plan you plan very well the training and the scope. It's easy to in maybe in 6 months, you know, 6 months or 8 months to your certificate.
Yeah, and I imagine because again, and I'm making some assumptions here, but imagine that you guys, your team internally is probably well versed in obviously ISO 27, you know, one, and I'm sure given the nature of what you guys do, you're dealing with a lot of ethical hacking and probably a lot of experience on the team. So how does having that type of experience really help the customer engagements that you guys have? Is it because you can get in that mindset from a even though it's ethical, but it's still that kind of that hacking mindset, and then combine that with having really deep understanding of these security frameworks. So imagine that you know not a lot of companies have the combination of those two things, and I'm wondering that it must play a big part in how you guys support your customers.
Yes, the methodology to engage my team It's combine this part, knowledge in frameworks, knowledge in pen testing, technologies about the protect the companies and the services. Yes, and social engineering. You know, so yes, we try to my team had a good skills about these areas.
Yeah. So I was speaking with Dragos, one of our interviews maybe 2 months ago, and he's basically spent similar background. Well, he's coming from Eastern Europe, um, but similar background in that every day is for him it was a pressure all day long every day, right? Because it's just the demands of being an entrepreneur, but then given the fact that you're in security, and again, it's a lot of it's if it's reactive, it can be high stress. If it's proactive, then obviously, as we talked about, those are great customers and great engagements because you can get in front of challenges and you can build roadmaps and frameworks and standards and really help customers get prepared. But what does a outside of work look like for you? I mean, do you have outlets that kind of help you kind of bring down the stress level a little bit?
Yes, but the most important when you have done this project is you use ever methodologies.
Mhm.
When you use a methodology, it's more easy to to react the proactive way or reactive way. The more important is my advice for everything is you need a methodology for all projects you have. You
Yeah,
have the methodology like to and in more specific to use the methodology with the international standard. It's more easy, with indicators, to growing your quality um, and the measured risks. So yes, it's just more ideal so when you have the different situation with the methodology.
awesome. So let's look forward a little bit and see, what does the organization look like in a couple years? I mean, you're in a space that is, you know, rapidly evolving. I think that is an understatement. I think it's evolving, more than rapidly. It's constantly evolving. But what's the organization look like in a couple years, and what do you do to really stay out in front of these challenges that are just they're moving so fast?
Yes, I like the examples. For example, and I have the in this moment I have the special customer. It's embassies, different embassies around the world. This customer is very dynamic. We need to move in different areas. You need to change the technology, to need to change the methodology, and you need to change the services. But yes, it's again, do you have a good plan? It's possible to to change everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's still surprising as we mentioned early on. At least from my perspective, I agree. I've seen this space evolve with new technologies, and then obviously when new technologies evolve, the bad guys learn how to evolve with that, and they change their strategies. But one thing that's been really frustrating is that it still comes down to the human element, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
yes.
human behavior that, talking about this for almost 20 years now, it's like, you want to hit your head against the wall because it always comes back to human behavior. But do you agree with that, or am I too jaded, I guess?
You remember this hacker, very famous? He died. Kevin Mitnick.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. So he said that the major problem in the cybersecurity is the human.
Yeah.
This is the reason. This is the reason to they make a special company now by form. Yes, it's when you use them. when you use that, this is the reason we have services in social engineering, because this is a big problem, the
Yeah.
the management and the support.
Yeah. It's if I had to, and I try not to gamble, but if I had to put money on it, I think 20 years from now, we're still going to be talking about, you know, the human element, and humans doing stupid things. Um,
Mm.
I'm sure that's going to be a constant, no matter what technology is out there. Um, but yeah, so any other thoughts or any other things that the audience should know about you and the company, and then we'll have links to you, your LinkedIn profile, and the company in the show notes. But any thoughts or maybe even some advice for MSPs and the channel organizations that are listening to this?
Yes, please connect with me at LinkedIn to my website, password that NYC. We help to maybe to training or maybe to talk about the different things, the cybersecurity or quantum computer in cybersecurity. I love to show what is the quantum computer, what is the different challenge to what is the different challenge to come with that this new technology in cybersecurity.
Yeah, I might have to call you. I'd love to see that because yeah, again, I think that's just an area that is going to be uh, it's untapped at this point, right? I mean, because the access and availability of quantum, is pretty limited today. But just like anything, you give it a couple years and access will get better. But unfortunately, when access gets better, then you know not so nice individuals tend to pick up on those technologies and use them for bad. So I guess with good, there's always bad out there, and it's good to know you guys are really trying to make a dent in helping companies be more proactive about things up front and getting their house in order, prior to something happens. Because yeah, it's I hate to end on these cliches, but it's not if, it's when, right? And it's the more prepared you are, more
Yes,
organized and structured you are up front, the better shot you have at surviving, or even completely defending against something, bad from
of
happening, right?
course. Yes, right.
Yeah, yeah. Jose, well, thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, we'll have links to you and obviously the organization. And I can't speak highly enough of where you guys are. I mean, again, taking kind of that leadership position, getting ahead of the market, starting with quantum and working back into how you help uh, organizations get prepared. That's unique in this market. I know there's a lot of groups out there that are trying to kind of do some basic consulting, but I think the way that you're approaching it is more forward looking than most, and I think that's going to prove over time to be the absolute right way. And I'd encourage every MSP listening to check you guys out and connect, because yeah, it's going to get even more precarious moving forward. I'm glad you and your team are out there trying to do right by everybody. That's great stuff.
Thank you, Kevin, for the opportunity. I hope the other second opportunity to talk about more the quantum computer or the other things about the cybersecurity.
Yeah, look, we should absolutely. I'd love to even do something more kind of a demonstration, because I think that'll really help prove the point and get everybody to start thinking a little bit differently about these problems. So yeah, we'll definitely have to do one. So everyone, be on the lookout for our follow up here. We'll get that scheduled. So well,
Perfect.
cool.
One thing more. The next week we launch the special pilot with use artificial intelligence and quantum computer to protect Active Directory systems in Microsoft, obviously. So maybe the next time I show this with a demonstration about what is the
Yeah,
functionality.
I would love that. If you're getting ready to launch, yeah, I would love to do something where we we help get the word out there, because again, this is, yeah, you're it's good to know that groups like you exist, and you're doing right by everybody. So yeah, we'll work our part to get the word out there for sure. So very good. Well, thank you very much, and we'll again have notes in the show notes. We'll have links, and encourage everybody to get out there and check out what Jose and his team's doing, because it's really good stuff. So thanks again.
Thank you, Kiwi. Bye bye.
You got it.